This is Marshall Jones at Winthrop University with an introduction to evaluation and surveys. Evaluation is conceptually simple. You just figure out what you want to evaluate or what thing you want to know something about, figure out the questions you need to ask, get your data sources, and there you go. How hard can that be? What you're looking at here is what is common in an evaluation, and that is this evaluation matrix, where you're going to have your questions on one side, and then you're going to have your data sources along the top. And so what you want to do is you want to then match your questions to your data sources. We'll get into that in excruciating detail in just a moment. But while it is conceptually simple, it is complicated to do well. So in this class, you have been reading the National Science Foundation's Evaluation Guide, but I wanted to give you sort of a little grounding in evaluation as well. In terms of defining what evaluation is, it's really looking at a subject's merit, what kind of worth it has. So what we're going to do is we want to make sure that we are looking at criteria that everybody agrees on that we're going to use to measure that subject. We're going to collect that data to make changes to it, and we're going to make value judgments on that subject. So that's one of the most important things to remember is when you evaluate something, you are making a value judgment on it. That value judgment may be made to determine how to make the subject or the initiative better, or it may be to provide a final judgment on the subject. And those are really our two basic kinds of evaluation: formative evaluation and summative. In formative evaluation, we're going to be trying to make the initiative, the project, the whatever better. In summative evaluation, we're going to be making a value judgment at the end of that. In terms of program evaluation, there are some definitions you need to understand. The program itself is the goals of the organization or perhaps a particular initiative begun by that organization. Organizations will work from their mission statement to identify goals and the core beliefs of that program, and then program evaluation is going to collect data to make necessary decisions about that program. So what we're doing is we're trying to look at the program to help an organization decide whether or not they are meeting the goals. Evaluation can be time-consuming, which means it can be expensive because it can be personnel intense. An organization could end up spending a lot of resources, money, on an evaluation. Evaluation oftentimes is, because it comes at the end of a program, is oftentimes a thing that gets left out as well. But it's really important to conduct an evaluation to help understand the complexity of the program, to improve on its effectiveness, and to verify that the program is meeting its intended outcomes. If you look at any initiative that is implemented in an organization, in a school, a business, whatever that organization might be, you know that the organization is committing resources to that. And so an evaluation will help the organization make sure that they're spending those resources well and that it's worth both the time and the money that they're spending on it. When thinking about conducting an evaluation, there are some elements to think about: inputs, processes, outputs, and outcomes. The definitions of those are printed on the screen, but I thought it might be easier to define them through some examples. So if inputs are the various resources needed to run the program, if you're looking at a school-based initiative, some of those inputs would be teachers, administrators, curriculum specialists, media specialists, or anybody else who is connected to that program. So those are the places where you're going to be looking for data. So the people that you're going to be talking to, that you're going to be surveying, that you're going to be trying to get answers from. The process is how the program is carried out. So what are the things that are happening within this particular school-based initiative? So if, for example, you were looking at a one-to-one computing initiative or one device for one child or one student, then you might be looking at challenge-based learning, one-to-one computing, school-based interactions, and community-based interactions. Outputs would be the units of service. So in this case, if you're looking at one-to-one computing, then how many teachers are trained in this new initiative and how many students are educated. And then outcomes are the impacts on the customers or the clients receiving the services. So what are some things we can look at? Learner achievement, learner engagement, meaningful manifestations of learning. So in an evaluation, what we're going to try and do is to identify our inputs, processes, outputs, and outcomes so that we can make the best decisions about what data to gather, how to gather it, and how to present it to the various stakeholders.